Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Big Blue Unfiltered Podcast, talking New York Giants football and the NFL. Here now is Ian Campbell, Brian Gallagher Jr., and Greg Rommel.
We are back once again. So this week we're going to be doing some tight end work. We're a little remote this week, so we apologize if there's a delay in communication or any, audio issues. Greg is home. I'm with Connor. So how's everybody doing? Greg, how you doing?
Good over here. Hopefully the cameraman for the Yankees is okay. That's all we can hope for. That was a pretty rough shot if anybody was watching the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what
we saw live. I just checked it out on Twitter.
Yeah, we've been watching that for I think the first 28 minutes of our record that we're gonna have to cut out because we've just been bullshitting about the Yankee cameraman.
Yeah, sorry about that, Brian. You got some work to do.
Brian's gonna have to cut out the first 27 minutes, and then we can start up. Either way, I mean, Connor, how are you?
I'm doing good. How was everyone's July 4th?
It's good.
Nice.
It's
good. No complaints.
Everyone have a couple beers, enjoy themselves, of course.
Just a few.
Just a couple. I think I skipped the around the league today. What do you guys think? There's really nothing going on.
Not much. I haven't heard much. I think we've all been MIA from any sports news this weekend, football wise at least. So
not even that.
It's
just that time of year where there's nothing happening.
I did see today that Daniel Jones during negotiations asked for $47 million, and obviously ended up with 40.
Okay,
$47 million.
Yeah, we're gonna ask for $47 million in negotiations.
I don't know how true that is for asking.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but that's what I saw on the internet today.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We like Daniel Jones, but not for $47 million.
He probably wanted that average of 47.
Yeah.
Because there is, 2 or 3 years in the contract where he gets 50, I believe, right?
I think he gets 50 or like 52, I want to say, his last couple years around there or something like that.
Which at that point the cap will be so high.
Which is, I mean, that's a lot. I think at that point, you're going to have all these other guys who are...
If he plays well the next 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised if they extend him.
I can see it.
Yeah, they could do like that renegotiate where they just spread money out. That's probably what they were thinking, honestly.
Yeah, give him a couple, maybe like another $100 million, and give him 3 more years on it.
Yeah, like they're probably thinking right now, like, okay, if he plays well for 2 years, then we're not too much on the hook, and then we can extend him. So,
yeah. But all right, well, let's jump into tight ends. I think this week I don't want to work down the depth chart. I want to work up. We'll save the good stuff for last. Because there's not a ton to talk about with the bottom 3 guys. Maybe a little bit with the third, but I mean, our 5th tight end on the roster right now is Ryan Jones.
Okay.
He is a rookie this year. He went to East Carolina last year.
Yeah, I want to say he's like 6'4", 250, something like that.
Yeah.
And his numbers at ECU, 12 games, 41 catches, 413 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Those really aren't terrible numbers. I mean,
yeah, especially for an undrafted tight end for a school like ECU. The one thing is, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe ECU is a pretty decent passing school.
Yeah, typically they're like a college that puts together like a good team like every like 3-4 years when they're like stacked up with seniors, right? That's kind of what they do. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for a guy that's on a low-level program, those are decent numbers. If he contributes at all this year, great. I don't expect to see his name much, to be honest.
Nope. Probably practice squad guy, if not cut.
Yeah. Next guy. Guy from the Bills, which, if you haven't done our Immaculate Gridiron yet, Connor puts these together. They're a spin-off of the Immaculate Grid baseball game that's been going around.
They just made a basketball one, too.
Did they?
Yeah.
Listen,
very nice.
Picked the Immaculate Gridiron hashtag that I put on Twitter today, and we were the only ones that had it. So if we can...
We'll have to trademark that.
We should.
Start the trend.
We really should, and then we should see if we can get someone to code it out.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
30-minute course.
Yeah. Or just pay someone on like Upwork to do it.
Yeah.
But Tommy Sweeney, this would be your Giants Buffalo square. 5 games last year with Buffalo, 1 target, and he made the most of it. 1 catch, 7 yards.
Could have been a big first down for all we know.
You need a guy to get 7 yards on his only target. Tommy Sweeney's your guy.
Yep.
There you go.
I know a little bit about Tommy Sweeney. I think he was the 2 to Knox, and he was the blocker of the 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
I
but
don't
that
must be Buffalo.
there's some value in that on a football team, especially if they're able to keep him around like on the roster, and then like when the rosters extend during hopefully the postseason, right? They extend. We can. He's a Jersey guy too.
He is.
Don
That's
Bosco
why,
Prep.
Yeah, I remember when they signed him, everyone was like, "Oh, he's coming back home to Jersey," and everyone,
Nice.
everyone that keeps up with stuff was like, "This guy stinks." But he's home, so
He's home.
6'5",
Yeah.
6'5", 250. You line up on the goal line, you go jumbo set. I bet Tommy Sweeney's in there over someone like Waller.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, blocking, and you want to put 3 tight ends out there, it's going to be Sweeney, not Cager. Speaking of Cager, a guy that we like, Greg, I know you and me have kind of fallen for Larry.
Yeah, he's like a poor man's Darren Waller in my mind.
Yeah, he's a pure receiving tight end. But Waller can block.
I think he's. No, go for it, Ian.
Well, I was just saying Waller can definitely block a little bit, so it's not that he's like a pure like Cager is.
I think Cager could be like a threat this year in like a 2 tight end set because he's obviously a big guy, like in the red zone or something, like where they're going to have to cover Waller. Or I mean, the Giants could carry 3 tight ends, and they could throw a 3. I mean, you could throw. I know we're not at Bellinger yet, but you could throw Bellinger at like a H-back, fullback kind of vibe if you wanted to get creative.
That bear type role.
Yeah, that'd be exactly like. I mean, I
think
that forever too. Like Heath Miller or something like that. He used to do that too.
Oh yeah. I think we carried 4 tight ends this year because I think the NFL is really leaning towards these 2 tight end sets with defense getting smaller and the linebackers getting smaller specifically. You're going to see tight ends who are big and fast, a lot of passes. Everyone's going to say, "Oh, why didn't anyone think of this before?" But someone did, and that offense was disgusting with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah. I mean, look at Cager's. Okay, so 7 games, 4 games started, 19 targets, 13 receptions, 118 yards, and a tutty. I mean, it's not terrible.
He got some short yardage use right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost pretty close to like 10 yards a catch, basically. Not really, a little bit under, but
it's about. I can't do the math, but it's about 8.5 yards a catch.
8.5, yeah, pretty close. Yeah. So I mean, it's not too bad. I'll take that.
Yeah, and he's got some decent size too, so he's not like just a receiver that can. Connor did the math. It's about 9.1 yards per catch.
Okay. And he's fast too. He's a speedster as a tight end. I mean,
and he's got some. He's 6'5", 220. I mean,
wow. Yeah, he can move.
The guy in his career has 15 catches, 153 yards, and a touchdown, and he had 13 of those catches last year, 118 of those yards last year, and the 1 touchdown last year. So last year was his breakout season. So maybe he's starting to finally get a feel for the tight end position.
Yeah, Cager's like the guy you take as like your last pick in your fantasy football draft, just to take him. Like, hey, I need an extra guy. He could be good. He could be awful. Like, you never know.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, if he's the third guy, he's absolutely a pass catcher. Him and Sweeney as the direct backups should, knock on wood, Bellinger and Waller miss time.
Yeah.
And Bellinger's injury last year was fluky. But Waller seems to not play every game, so I'm waiting for him to miss time this year. In my opinion, it's not if, it's when.
Yep. I don't disagree.
I could see him missing more than 2 games.
Yeah, I think Waller will play like 13. But either way, Daniel Bellinger last year, without getting his eye gouged out, I think was on his way to a very solid rookie season.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he had played 12 games, started 11, 35 targets, 30 catches. So that's great catch rate for a tight end who wasn't considered a tight end. 268 yards and 2 touchdowns. So now the guy I think is going to put up decent numbers as the tight end too this year.
And also, too, that was on a team that, like, really struggled to throw the ball early in the season. Like, it was everything was a grind to try to get the ball downfield. Because, just the wide receivers, like, no offense to the Darius Slaytons of the world. And, like, when Shepard was not hurt, but, it was tough sledding there for a little bit.
Yeah, it was brutal. That's the least. The least of our concerns this year is receiver depth. We have a lot of guys.
They listed Slayton as the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL.
I saw that. Was that Bleacher Report?
I think so.
Yeah, which take it with a grain of salt, however you feel about Bleacher Report. But I think he is underrated.
Yeah, but he finally got back to form, like towards like mid to the back end of the year. It was like the Slayton we saw like as a rookie, where we were like, this guy could be like a very good middle of the pack receiver.
Yeah, he just has the drops in the worst times, and that's the issue. But yeah, I'm very high on Waller. I love a tight end like that. Just one of those able to get dirty guys. I mean, he was he San Diego? Not Waller. Sorry, Bellinger.
San Diego State.
Yeah, Bellinger was San Diego State, right?
I think so.
Yep.
I want to yes.
Yeah, I just checked. And not to, bring up the picture from OTAs, but he's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's massive.
Not only did he build some muscle, he's 6'6", 255. Listed.
Wow.
I have to imagine he's...
Bellinger?
Yeah.
Bellinger's 6'6"?
6'6", 255.
I didn't think he was 6'6".
I'm going to guess that he put on at least 5-10 pounds in the offseason.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
A little bit as well.
So he's probably 6'6", 260 now.
he's probably a guy that like he probably dedicated like truly his whole offseason to like getting bigger, getting faster. Like he seems like that type of guy. And we get him a full season in visor mode because of his eye gouge, which is going to be electric.
Terminator out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And now the big acquisition, in my opinion, deal of the offseason that,
Yes.
you'll see mid-season grades or someone's going to put out like best moves of the offseason. This guy's going to be the number one best move. Darren Waller. Last year with the Raiders, 9 games, 6 starts. It really seems like they didn't want him there anymore. I think he could have played more. They really didn't use him to his fullest potential.
He was a little banged up throughout the season too.
That too. But it always seemed like they never wanted to use him.
Especially since when they got Devontae as well.
Yeah.
It looked like he was kind of,
Yeah.
Not really part of the main, what do you call it, like passing game or whatever you want to call it.
He wasn't getting a lot of targets.
Yeah.
But
let's see here. So he
6 starts, 43 targets,
played,
388 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Decent numbers for a guy that didn't get used that much.
Yeah, I don't think Oakland or Las Vegas, quite has a plan of what they want to be. But 2019, he played 16 games. 2020, he played 16 games. 2021, 11, and 2022, 9 games. So, he's been hurt kind of the last 2 seasons. So, they were probably just wanting to move off. But to your point, Ian, it's got to be – there's so much upside. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, the Giants need a true vertical deep threat, and he's all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and his size. To have a guy that big that can run that fast I mean, it's such a weapon to have when our receivers are what they are. He's the same size as Bellinger. That's 6'6", 250, 260 guy.
Yeah, when he's on, he's right there with I think Kelsey and Kittle, those guys are on a different level, but he's like a top 5 tight end. I mean, when he's healthy. No doubt.
Think receiving wise, it's Kelsey and everybody else. But when Waller's on and healthy, he might be number 2 as far as receiving stats.
He could be. Yeah, I mean, 107 receptions in 2020 is ridiculous.
Yeah,
for a tight end.
And Kittle's a little better all around because Kittle is a much better blocker than Waller.
Yeah, he's got that Iowa thing going. Yeah,
I think Waller is very similar to Mark Andrews, where they're just threat, and they're different styles of tight end. Andrews that big, go up and get it kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Waller's more the route runner, the receiver. But they're both guys that'll put up 800 yards, 9 touchdowns with 100 catches.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for Waller. Speaking of projected numbers, this projection that Connor pulled, would you pull CBS again?
No, it's from Fantasy Pros.
Okay, so fantasy.
Oh, okay.
So do we want to start from the bottom up? Let's start from the bottom up. So Tommy Sweeney, I didn't think he was going to have a projection for the Giants, but he does. So they have him at 3.7 receptions, 39, about 40 yards, and not really a touchdown, 0.2. I don't know how you even
I don't know where they think Tom
Sweeney. How do you quantify that?
Ball for 10 yards.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Where's
get
he
that
getting
either.
10 yards to catch from?
Yeah, I saw that too, and I didn't really.
I could see Tommy Sweeney having 4 catches for 13 yards.
Yeah.
And I could see Ryan Jones having more stats than Tommy Sweeney this year.
I can see that. I mean, I don't really know. I really think he's going to be more.
I think they're notable enough numbers to bring up, but realistically, Tommy Sweeney isn't even worth discussing as far as projections.
That, and if he's being looked at as more of a blocker, how is he going to have almost 10 yards of reception?
Yeah, that's hoping maybe 30 yards.
Daniel Jones just hits him on this random,
no one's defending him.
Slant route. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a fun one. Cager, they have him projected for 10 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. At the third tight end, what do we think of those numbers?
Are they?
Now, keep in mind, number 1 tight ends max at 1,000, and that's Kelsey level.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably thinking we all think Cager is going to be a swing, basically wide receiver tight end. They're probably just thinking of him as a straight tight end and probably thinking he's going to be blocked out by Waller and Bellinger. But
makes sense.
Cager's going to hit something. Cager's going to have 1 or 2 games this year where he's going to be the main target, probably as a wideout. Honestly,
yeah, because we think Waller will get hurt and Cager will be the next guy up. And I think they're not going to put Bellinger in Waller's role. They'll put Cager in that role.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
100%. Exactly.
But
Cager will bump to basically the number 1 tight end target if that happens.
Yeah.
They'll have one of those games where it's 4 receptions, 45 yards, and a touchdown.
Yep.
Just
like if Bellinger were to get hurt, I think Tommy Sweeney would be the next guy up, not Cager. I think in a way you have to think of it as different roles. And it's going. Waller's direct backup is going to be Cager, and Bellinger's direct backup is either going to be Sweeney or Jones.
Yeah. Yep. Totally agree.
But I can also see Cager rotating in a lot more than anyone else. I'd love to do an over/under on Lawrence Cager, setting my own numbers.
Maybe. Do you think Cager's going to be the guy the Victor Cruz, where he may have a great preseason, and then the Giants can just toss him in as a decoy in there. I know Victor Cruz went off when he first got the starting job, but I could see Cager having a heck of a preseason.
I could see it.
I would love to see that. That would make it a lot more interesting.
I could see them running a lot of weird packages this year, and Kafka just going nuts with it.
Just trying to feed him the ball.
Yeah. Just putting out some crazy sets where Waller and Bellinger, like a play action pass with Cager in the slot or something.
Yeah.
And Waller and Bellinger in on a block, and we all think Barkley's going to be on the team. Barkley coming in, running up the middle, maybe pitch it back to, like a flea flicker, pitch it back to DJ who hits a wide open Cager, like stuff like that. I think they'll
Yeah, I
work
could see
him.
that little trick play.
I think he's too valuable of a receiver with the mismatches on a safety and a linebacker to not rotate him in.
A lot of
Yeah,
size.
100%.
A lot of size.
Now, will he catch 35, 40 footballs this year? I don't think so.
No,
So
no.
I'm going to set the over-under at 19.5 for Lawrence Cager this year.
19.5%.
Yeah.
I like the over.
Yeah, I do too, but not by much.
I'm thinking like 25.
Yeah, I was thinking like 23. What about you,
Yeah.
Connor?
Somewhere in that range.
I want to take the over, but if I feel like I take the over and he has 20 receptions, I feel like
It's still the over.
I know, but I feel like if 20, I feel like 19 is a lot. I feel like if you get to 19, you could have a problem. Then you're having, maybe Darren Waller's hurt then.
Well, that's barely over a catch a game.
I know, but if they have him,
Think about it. If he has
They have
one
him only
game where
at,
he
like,
catches
10
4
receptions,
footballs, like that's a fifth of his
yeah,
target.
but they still have, Bellinger catching the ball too.
Well,
I
yeah.
like, for some reason, I like, like around 17 or 18. I like right under 19.
He had 19 targets in 7 games last year, 4 as a starter. I think this year, with another year in the offense, they'll get him more than. I think he'll get 35 targets on the season, the whole season. 17 games of football, 35 targets. That's 2 targets a game.
Do you think 19.5 is low then?
No, I think that's right there. I think 19.5 is that number where you, like, if you think he's going to get used, like I think he's going to get used, you go over. And if you think he's going to be, you go under.
I like 19. I like around there, like right
So-
under.
So under?
Yeah, I like under.
Okay. So we got an under. Now, yards. They have him at 93. But if I'm setting the 19.5 catches, what was he last year? About 9 yards. So that's what, 90, was it 170-ish yards right there? So let's 159, 149.5 over under.
I'm going to go over. I'm
Okay.
going to say he has a couple bigger games and then a few like more games with like more intermediate catches. I'm going to say like 225.
Okay. I like the 225. I think he'll be high 100s, maybe like a 180, 190.
Yep.
Going to get like 80% of those yards when Waller doesn't play.
I can see that, but I'm going to take the under.
Okay.
I'm going to take the under.
So under.
Because I'm hoping that Waller has.
Oh yeah, if Cager puts up no numbers, it means Waller played the whole year
Yeah.
and balled out.
Connor's going strictly the under, just praying that Waller's 1,000-yard season. I love it.
I love Darren Waller this year.
Connor's
I
taking
know.
the safe bet by taking the risky bet on Waller playing healthy all year.
Yep. Yep.
Being a
all right.
pessimist on Waller.
Yeah, me too. But Cager 1 touchdown last year, so I'll set the over under at 1.5. So if you think he catches 2 or more, you take the over. Under 1 or less.
I'll
going
take the
under.
over. I'll go for 2. I've gone the over this whole time. I'll go for 2.
I'm going under. I don't think he gets used in the red zone that much when we have guys like Bellinger and Waller available. Obviously, if both are out, he's the number 1 tight end option. But if Bellinger's in, I think he's the red zone tight end.
Okay.
You think so?
Yeah. Also, we got to remember Barkley and all the receivers.
He's
we
got a
have.
lot of size too, though.
They all have size.
I mean, Bellinger's
Every single one of our tight ends is like 6'5", 6'6".
You do have a point.
We don't have any small tight ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point.
The difference is Cager's only like 220, where all the other guys are like 260.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
So a safety can hit him in the end zone and kind of slow him down a bit, whereas Bellinger can just get in there and body a guy, especially with the muscle he put on.
Yeah.
So I'm going the under. Connor, you think he's 2 or more or no?
I will take the under as well.
Okay.
If I'm gonna ride these unders too,
Okay.
The 2 first unders, I gotta go under again.
Yeah, smart. All right, so Daniel Bellinger, his projections this year: 13 catches, 174 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Disrespectful.
So, yeah, they're basically saying that he's not going to play because of Waller.
Yeah. That makes no sense to me.
I'm going to just go off his numbers last year. So 30 catches, 270-ish yards, 2 touchdowns. So let's set the over-under 29.5 catches for Daniel Bellinger. I think that's a fair number. Well, you got to remember, he's the number 2 tight end now. So those numbers may stay about the same.
Could.
I also take the over. I just wanted to provide another perspective.
No, it's good context. You know how we feel about Bellinger. So
yeah. Oh, I love the guy.
I like the over. I think
I'm buying his jersey if he has a decent year.
I
I
wouldn't be surprised if they do that 2 tight end kind of strategy.
Yeah, we'll take the over on the 29.5. So, but what are we thinking Max is out at? I mean, Max is out, Waller's out. I think Bellinger can catch 65 footballs.
Yeah,
but
I think this season he'll max out at like 45.
Yeah, 45 to 50, I think, is a high.
I think 45 to 50 is very fair.
I think that's a good high ceiling for him.
Yeah.
I think he'll finish around 38 to 42.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yards, 270. I'm going to set a 274.5 over under.
274.5. This is probably the hardest one because
he's not a yardage guy. He's not super
he's not a deep threat kind of guy, at least that we haven't seen really, right? I mean, I don't remember him catching.
He can rumble stumble for 8 yards after the catch.
He can. He definitely can. I don't know. What are we thinking, boys?
I'm going over. I think he'll have low to mid threes.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the under.
Okay.
I think they're going to be using Waller a lot more for, deeper balls.
Yeah,
and, they're going to be using Bellinger a lot more for 5-yard routes, smaller routes too.
That's fair.
Like you said, he's not a fast guy. He's not one of the faster guys, one of the faster tight ends.
Yeah, my thought process is, if he's catching 39, 40 footballs this year,
I think that's
he can get 320, 330 yards.
Yeah.
It's less than 10 yards a catch.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he gets 20 catches this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either, but
yeah.
I think he'll have a solid year as a number 2 tight end with low 300s.
Yeah. Okay.
Greg, are you taking the over?
Going over.
Over. Love it.
Over.
2 tight ends he had, or 2 touchdowns he had last year.
We're going to go 1.5 again?
2.5.
2.5. Okay.
I'm taking the over.
I'm going to say.
What if I set it at 3.5?
I would go under.
I'm setting 3.5 then, because everyone. I hear the sigh
Oh my god!
So it's all right. The line's 3.5. I'm still taking the over.
Going under.
I'm also taking the under. I think Waller's going to steal a lot of those touchdowns.
Okay. I mean, I don't think 4 is a crazy number.
Yeah, I know, but I think Waller's going to be one of the better receivers this year for the Giants. So he's going to be catching a lot of I think he's going to be catching the most touchdowns.
Well, don't be surprised if they line Waller up at
any player any receiver on the roster.
Well, don't be surprised if they line him up at receiver.
I could see that too, and they line Bellinger up at tight end. That'd be interesting.
I could see it happen. So, you guys are a little conservative on Bellinger's year. I think, Greg, you can see the ceiling. Connor doesn't really see it. I'm all in on Bellinger. I think he's going to have a great year. He's not going to put up tight end 1 numbers, but he'll be a great backup tight end. I think, one of these primetime games, pregame, that graphic is going to come up, and you're going to hear Joe Buck being like, the Giants have the 2 best tight ends in the league, one of the best tight end tandems in the league, something like that, where our guys are going to get attention because they're going to be a formidable duo.
I would love to see that. I mean, I would love to get proved wrong. Prove me wrong, Daniel.
Higashioka fucking sucks, dude. Oh my god. All right. Speaking of the formidable duo, Darren Waller last year. I'm not even going to look at last year. Let me pull up his numbers, and I'll see if I can break down an average. So
Are you saying in like a full season?
his per 17.
Okay.
He's 68 catches, 821 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Now we all believe, well, that's 17 games. That's 12 starts. He puts up those numbers in his per 17.
How many yards?
821.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with 65 and a half catches. Over, under.
I'm going to say. Go ahead, Connor.
I love the over on this. I love it. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 70, 75 catches this year.
Okay.
I love him. I love him as the wide receiver 1.
He's had over 90 twice.
That's what I mean. I almost think 65 and a half could be a little low. But that's just me, wanting Waller to,
Okay,
be the guy.
what I'll do, I'm putting a number where he's not starting every game. Let's come to an agreement on how many games he's going to play.
Okay, he plays 13 games. Or 12. Do you want to do 12?
I just did 12.
Let's do
Okay.
12. I like
5.
12.
I think 65 and a half with 5 games missing is a decent number.
Okay.
So in 12 games, 65 and a half, I'll take the over marginally. Like a
Yeah.
high 60.
I think he can get 70.
He can. If he plays 15 games this year, I think he's catching 85 balls.
Yeah. I was just about to say, I could see him, like, if he plays a full season completely healthy, I can see him, like, 80 to 85 catches. So I'll take the over by a touch.
Yeah.
If he plays, like, 12 games.
So we're all over on 65 and a half catches.
Yep.
So 821 yards. I'm going to set the over under at 799 and a half.
I think that's a decent number. I mean, for a full season, this
Projection
is so hard because,
50. So
yeah, this could be. He could be anywhere from, like, I know this is stupid to say, like 700 yards to like 1,000. You never know.
He could.
It's too
he's
hard
had
to.
1,200 yards twice.
Yeah, and that's when he's played like a full season. Basically, he's just well over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, when he plays, he's Travis Kelce in the passing game.
Yeah, screw it. I'll go the over.
Yeah, I'll take the over. I think he'll do low 8s.
Yeah,
because I do think Bellinger eats in, but like Connor said, I think the tight ends are going to be a huge factor this year.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Yeah, combining 1,300 yards.
I can see that. So I'm also going to take the over.
Okay, so we're all over on 799 and a half.
Love it.
Now touchdowns is where it gets tough because one year he had 9. Every other year, he's been like a 3 or 2 touchdown guy.
Yeah, that was his big year. I remember that.
So I'm going to set his touchdown line. This projection has him at 4. I'm going to go.
I like 5.5.
4.5.
4.5.
He has only broken 5 once. He's only broken 3 once.
True.
So 4.5. Over, under.
I'm going to go over, but by a touch. I'm going to go like 5 to 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Thinking. Exactly what I was thinking.
He'll do something like 70 catches, 850 yards, and like 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
Also, I just looked up Travis Kelce's stats compared to Waller.
Kelce's
that dude is ridiculous.
Yeah. If you're in the first round of a fantasy draft and none of the top running backs are there, you might want to take Travis Kelce.
He's had
when you take Travis Kelce,
1,000-yard season since 2016.
Yeah, when you take Kelce, you're taking a wide receiver 1 in your tight end spot. So then you
crazy.
can go again and take another wide receiver 1.
Absurd.
It's
Yeah.
insane. Travis Kelce's already a top 5 tight end of all time, if not top 3.
Top
He might
three.
be the best. I mean, I still maybe put Gronk over him right now, but
Gronk's by
it's not.
1.
Yeah, it's
touch.
getting close.
He's
Like,
got so many. He's got a lot more touchdowns than Kelsey, right?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's Gonzalez and Gates.
And don't forget,
Yeah,
Gronk's
true.
played like way less games too.
If Gronk was healthy his whole career, his numbers would be untouchable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why he's the best tight end of all time. But, yeah, I mean, I love what Waller's going to bring to the offense. I think it's going to be huge for us. I think Bellinger's going to be great. I know you guys are a little tepid. Now, I say great. We all know what I mean.
Yeah.
Either way, this is going to be the best receiving core Daniel Jones has ever had to throw to.
Yeah, and one of the better receiving cores we've had in a very long time, to say the
Yeah,
least.
and-
So,
Yeah, we've had teams where it's top heavy, where we have a guy like Beckham and Shepard. After that, it's trash. And then we haven't
Yeah.
had a good tight end since, Martellus Bennett,
That's what I was
yeah,
thinking.
pretty much.
like a real actual difference maker, not a guy who he could be decent,
Ingram was
not a Larry Donnell, where he has a big game here and there.
Was it Bennett before Ingram? Who was there?
Bennett was before Ingram. Ingram sucked. He was so bad for
No,
us.
I know Bennett was before Ingram, but was Bennett right before Ingram, or who was someone after Bennett?
There was Larry Donnell mixed in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then before that, it was like the Ballards, Bosses, Pascos, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
And then Shockey.
I saw in here too. They had on this projection website, they had Chris Myrak.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he'll make the team.
He's labeled as a fullback.
Okay, so maybe they'll keep him as a fullback.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing the halfback thing. I like it.
Yeah, he's labeled as a fullback on the depth chart, I
He'll
think.
put up Tommy Sweeney numbers if he plays.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
4 catches, 40 yards.
Yeah.
But he is a
They
guy.
label guys as halfbacks anymore. They should.
I think Kafka likes to. But
Yeah, why not? Right?
maybe one of these guys are going to be that guy, and Meyerik's kind of out. But I will say, if Meyerik's on the team, you can absolutely count on him to catch that rogue touchdown out of nowhere.
Yep. It gets like the
I don't know.
Cowboys or
Yeah.
something.
I don't know when it's going to be, but he's going to catch a touchdown if he's on the team.
It'll be during like Monday Night Football or something.
Yeah.
We'll do it in a primetime game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, I think I'm going to reach out to some guys tonight about who's coming next week, Greg, and who wants to participate in trivia.
Yeah, sounds great.
Start putting some stuff together and putting a bracket together. I think I'll count you, Brian, Connor. I know John will want to do it, and we'll just have to see who else. And I'll hopefully put a bracket together, and we can get a nice little trivia episode going, because this is our last football content episode until training camp starts.
I know. It's crazy. It's coming.
We got to get the crab on.
Yeah, definitely.
But all right, guys, that was a good episode. Hopefully, everyone hung with us with our audio and delays and all that, and hopefully the sound was clean. But we will put out an episode. The 16th, I believe it is. That's Sunday.
Yeah. I think we're going to go for the 16th.
Yeah, and this episode we are recording it Wednesday. Maybe Brian can get it out tonight if he's got time. If not, look for it tomorrow, Thursday, the 6th, I believe it is. Yep, the 6th.
Excellent.
So, all right. Well, Greg, you have a good night.
You guys too. Enjoy.
All right. That's an episode, guys, so take it easy.
Take it easy.
Awesome.